Welcome back to another salvage auction analysis. Normally I am not one for Hollywood gossip, but when it involves a wrecked Ferrari, that's going to pique my interest. If you haven't seen already, this particular Ferrari belongs to Michael B. Jordan, the, famous actor who, me personally think skills are marginal at best, but he's a pretty famous dude and he's been in a lot. Now, apparently he also cannot drive very well because he wrecked his Ferrari like this.
Ding 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 dum 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 dum.
Now, I'm not going to dive into any of the actual information about the accident because I don't know, but when there's a video to show, sometimes it makes things very, very obvious what happened. Now, this car, it's already up to $141,000, as you would expect from a 2021 Ferrari 812 Superfast. Let's go ahead and get in, look at the actual auction format here. It is in the Crash Toys auction, so it's going to get a little bit of different exposure, a little bit of additional exposure. It is not listed as running, and we'll see when we get inside maybe if this has a blown pyro fuse. 7,800 miles with an estimated retail value of $567,000. That is absolutely just nuts. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and bother doing an auction history on this because being who owned this car and the publicity around it, I don't think that this car has run at auction previously. I don't think we have any of the normal concerns around scams. Now, looking at these pictures, this car is absolutely gorgeous. No matter what I think about his acting skills, I will say that his taste is pretty darn good, at least in this particular example. The gold-ish wheels look great. Ferrari red carbon ceramic brake calipers. This side, it looks pretty darn good. Now, as we keep moving around, this side still really nothing, no additional damage, and then you get to the bad side on the passenger side. But it looks like everything is pretty much isolated to the front end. I don't see any damage behind the door. We don't have kind of a straight on the passenger side to figure out if the door is pushed back. There's definitely some damage at the front of the door though. This is your main area of impact. And funny enough, it's a very, very similar amount of damage and impact to the F12 that I did a salvage auction analysis video on a little bit earlier this year. Obviously, this is the newer generation, the newer iteration of the F12 being an 812. And one of the problems with the F12s that people were educating me down in the comments is that a lot of parts are very scarce and not easy to find. I don't know if that's the situation with an 812 either. I know Ferrari is very stingy on who gets to repair their cars and what happens. There's tons of that stuff going around the internet with cease and desist letters coming from them. So I don't know how easy of a repair this is. From a damage standpoint, it doesn't look that bad. It's probably still massively expensive though. You can see that the hood is pretty much all lifted up, but the alignment on it doesn't look absolutely awful. On the other side, the driver's side is what I'm referring to, that it didn't like lop the whole hood over, the whole front end over. It looks like that impact was just primarily back kind of into the firewall, into that door jamb area, which is probably why it totaled. Another picture of the back end looks good. The red interior, I absolutely love. And there is a blown airbag there. Looks like somebody cut it off. I'm curious as the reasons to that. I think you can speculate what somebody might have done with that depending on who cut it off. But the red interior is absolutely beautiful. The light blue body, I'm an okay fan of the Superman look where you get the blue with the red interior. The light blue exterior, it's not that royal blue, I think pulls it off a whole lot better. But the solid red leather interior, absolutely gorgeous. That airbag did blow on the dash side as well, which is what I'm gonna guess is the reason for this not running. I'm gonna guess this has a blown pyro fuse, and if there isn't something mechanical there that is keeping this thing from running, that's gonna stop it from cranking over at all. But it does power up at least. You can see the gauge cluster all lit up and everything. So, at least you have that to go off of. Another picture from the passenger side. And the engine bay, again, the engine doesn't really look too moved around. I'm not seeing a lot that looks like the front end of the car is shifted over or anything like that. So I think that that's a pretty good sign, even though damage back into the door jamb area is a very, very complicated repair. You do get the wheel that got ripped off of this. Obviously, the wheel tire is no good. Judging by the amount of damage there, I'm going to guess that the carbon ceramic rotor is damaged as well. But it looks like you're probably going to get a good caliper out of it, which is always a bonus. So let's go ahead, hop in. Let's see what this thing runs for. It is a pure sale, so it will be selling. Now, we got a couple things to speculate on this. If the celebrity factor is going to add any value, which it doesn't appear to. Absolutely no action. And I was also curious where it was going to go. Bonus time. Wow, they did double bonus time. That's very rare to see that, especially when there's no bidding action. Wow. I think that is a deal on that car. I was not expecting that at all. The fact that that was a pure sale really made that happen, because I have to imagine that the insurance company is not going to be happy with that number. That, to me, seems like a low number. The F12 that I mentioned earlier that we watched, if I remember correctly, went for just over $100,000, $140 for a brand new 812. Whether it's a fix or for parts, I think that that's a absolutely smoking deal. I'm curious who bought it out there in California. Obviously, there's a lot of different avenues. The first person that pops into my head is the auto body shop. I believe it's LNC Collision. They do a lot of high-end repairs out there. They have a YouTube channel also, and they document them. And then, of course, Mr. Victim Damon from DDE. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they pick that up as well. So really, really interesting. I'm curious if we're going to see that resurface, but it was interesting to watch. Again, I think that's an absolutely smoking deal. Let me know what you think down in the comments, especially if you know Ferraris. I think that was a good one. So I'm glad we got to watch it together. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.